And welcome back to Naruto What If? What if Naruto dominated Orochimaru Part 4? So last time we left off with basically the quick ending of Deidara and it is Deidara. I know it's Day and the Dara. I just want to be sure I'm pronouncing it because I do the same. I have the same problem when I say Madara. I sometimes will say Madara, but I believe it's Madara. Anyway, yeah, the whole meeting with Sasori and Deidara in the spy or Kabuto went terribly wrong, and Deidara was quickly killed, with Sasori basically being not killed, but he is now completely at Orochimaru's mercy, as the only living part of him is still around, is under Orochimaru and Naruto's and Kabuto's control. So they go back to Orochimaru's base, and yeah, Orochimaru was very interested in so what has Sasori done? But how has Sasori been able to do it? So this is how he did it. I wonder what secrets can be learned. Now, before I go on, there is one thing I will address for house cleaning purposes. Every now and then I'll basically address some either complaints or just some questions people had in the comments. And there's only one. And it's the Sakura versus Hinata thing. Why I was more kind to Hinata than I was to Sakura. Now, to be fair, the person did acknowledge they liked Sakura better than Hinata, so they're also a little biased. I'd be lying if I said there's probably always going to be a little bias towards Hinata because I just like Hinata more. But the reason that Hinata I felt did grow stronger than Sakura, this who ended up being weaker than the canon counterpart, is the fact that yes, most of Hinata's confidence stuff was entirely derived from Naruto's personality, his vibrant nature, his never give up attitude. So if he left, yeah, she would be kind of just done for a while. But the thing is that Hinata still it was kind of obsessive crush, but she claims to love him. It was still love, and she still loved him. So I do think she would eventually want to try to get him back, to prove that there were people who cared about him in the village. B, though, and this is actually the more important thing, that's why it's different for Sakura and Hinata, at least in my mind. Whereas, yes, Naruto leaving will totally put Hinata out for a while. Sasuke and Naruto leaving affects Sakura far more than it affects Hinata. Hinata barely had any sort of standing with Sasuke apart from the fact he knew she existed and vice versa, barely. That's it. You've got about a 50% difference here in terms of what's affecting the other. Add on to the fact that they were her teammates and allegedly friends, so she may feel personally responsible, Sakura, for them leaving. So I have a feeling she's going to be completely just done for a while, possibly even considering giving up the shinobi lifestyle. Obviously, she didn't in this version, but still, I can't say that I see a scenario where Hinata is more greatly affected by this than Sakura is, simply due to the fact that she did not have as great a relationship, barely any, with Sasuke, whereas Sakura had a relationship with both of them. If they're both gone, they both leave, then that, I think, will seriously mess Sakura up compared to Hinata. So I just want to get out of the way. But anyway, we catch up back at the base, at Orochimaru's base. And they're busy, they're busy, they're kind of celebrating the victory. Taiyo and Suigetsu are just hanging around, just like, did you get the puppet guy? Yeah, we got Sasori. Deidara's dead too. Or, I made it. Deidara's dead too. And yeah, that guy was really weird. Just talked about art being explosions and all that stuff. Yes, Deidara was always quite the artistic. Sasori as well, as he's gazing upon Sasori as well. But now his art... But he should be... He was always obsessed with his immortality, how art was everlasting. Well, now he'll be able to... But you should be... If you can hear me in there, Sasori, you'll know that you will last forever with me. Good work today, Naruto. It's like, of course, Orochimaru. So Suigetsu is just kind of looking. And Taiyo is just like, yeah, all right, yeah. It's like kiss ass. But Naruto's kind of Lord Orochimaru's, he's kind of Orochimaru's favorite right now because he's grown strong. He's basically the second strongest. Even Orochimaru, in a second, is going to argue a little bit that he might be able to beat Orochimaru in a straight fight. Just because of all he's got going for him that even Orochimaru can't do. He can't do anything with the Fox Chakra. He was never able to have Sage transformation. So he's he's got things that Orochimaru doesn't have, and that does make him. And because of all the training Orochimaru put him through, he's someone that Orochimaru, even with the Sharingan, would have to be wary of in going into combat against. But that said, they also acknowledge the fact that Orochimaru is still the boss, and Naruto came from a pretty crappy situation. Naruto, for the fact, despite the fact I've got just strands of hair, despite the fact that he's under Orochimaru's thumb, that he's under Orochimaru's control, is a good guy, surprisingly. Like, Naruto, despite the fact he very much works for Orochimaru, knows Orochimaru does some terrible things, is still, and has clearly embraced a lot of his darker aspects, is still overall Naruto. He hasn't done the Sasuke thing where he does the complete heel turn. That's, like, he's not going to go and just annihilate a village just because Orochimaru says so. He will actually defend and advocate for protecting innocent people. And a little bit of that has rubbed off on everyone, even Orochimaru. Orochimaru has become a bit more lenient than he thought he would. And this, I think, is due partly to the fact that he got what he wanted. He got the Sharingan. So I think he's learned to be a little bit more lax on certain things with Naruto, just because he knows how valuable Naruto is, and because he got what he wanted. I like it a bit. He's a bit closer to not Boruto Orochimaru. That little I know, Boruto Orochimaru is kind of like a neutral evil. He's actually not. I mean, he still does terrible things, but he's not as bad as he ever was in the Naruto series. I know that. I mean, there's a reason he's, I believe, Mitsuki's father. But he's probably a bit closer to, say, his end of the series mentality, where, yeah, he's still Orochimaru, he still does terrible things, but he's willing to be a bit more lenient. Kabuto, remarks that Naruto's put a lot of effort into improving himself. It seems that mentality seems to have rubbed off on all of us. Indeed. But he gives Kabuto emotions like, well, Naruto should probably be sent away now, because I'm about to do, because we still don't know how he's going to react about Sasuke. So I was like, so we can't have him here at the moment. Like, Naruto, I know you just got back, but we would like to ask one other thing of you. Seems they've been having trouble over in, and I can't remember the actual base it was, with the inmates, particularly in Naruto. Sounds like Jungo again. Indeed, Karin could definitely use your help. Karin, it'd be nice to see Karin again. He has a little bit of a blush on his face, and Tayu's looking at Tayu, and Suigetsu are looking at him, and Suigetsu's got a bit of a grin. Like, oh, Karin! Oh, did someone get and Tayu just hits him. He's bursting the water. What the hell was that for? It's like, shut up, you pervert. Like, what Naruto does on his time with who he does is none of our business. Although she does have a look that says, yeah, but really, look, I may have said we weren't a thing, but it doesn't mean you couldn't have made the attempt. You're not going to just give up on this, are you? In her face, in her mind. But at the same time, it's like, whatever, I don't care. Sure, hey, Suigetsu, Tayuya, why don't you come with us? It's like, that's actually a good idea. Naruto could use the company. So God's like, yeah, sure, later, Kabuto. Orochimaru-san is like, good, take care, Naruto. So, still don't think we can trust him with that information, do you, Lord Orochimaru? Until we can figure out a way to keep the Kyuubi contained, Naruto will never be a proper vessel. So and even with the Sharingan, it's impossible to say whether or not I'd be able to control him completely. I'd rather avoid any harsh realities coming to fruition until the time is right. But now then, as he just closes his eyes and reactivates them, he's got the snake eye, because we know he has snake eyes, but he's got the 3 Tomai around there. Now, so I did bring up, I don't think you can get a Mangekyo, at least not in the traditional sense. Someone brought up that Jiraiya stated that he carried the pain of his parents' loss throughout his entire life, which might be true, but it's not the same scenario, not the same type of scenario. You kind of need that instant moment of pain and loss. Now, granted, you can make an argument, well, how did Sasuke actually get his Mangekyo Sharingan? That's fair to a degree, because we know he was also given the realization of what happened with the Uchiha clan. So maybe that was a big catalyst for him, just the realization and all that and everything that had happened. So maybe that was something that affected him. But I don't think there's anything going on within Orochimaru's adult life that would activate a Mangekyo Sharingan. So even though he's desperately been trying to like forcefully activate, he just can't figure out how to do it. But still, he's mastered at this for over 3 years. He's mastered the Sharingan at this point. So it's like, and it just opens his eyes. Tell me your secret, Sasori. So we basically cut now to Naruto and Suigetsu and Taiyo just chatting and say, "Hey Naruto, mind if we take a quick stop somewhere beforehand?" And say, "Oh really?" He's like, "Well, you remember the whole land of waves thing you guys did? You mentioned when you were a rookie, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah, that was like my first major mission back then." And Naruto's like, "Yeah, do you think it's still there?" It's like, and Naruto's thinking on it and remembers Suigetsu and what Suigetsu also wants, and just thinks, it could be. I mean, we left it there as a memorial, but I mean, right? I mean, Zabuza probably wouldn't want it going to waste. So, I mean, why don't we take a stop by? Besides, it'd be nice to kind of step in and say hi to some folks. And they go and they find the memorial. But Naruto also remembers, like, it's like, oh, because they named it after me. Ah, that's amazing. Well, I would love to say hi to the old man, but Karin probably needs our help. So let's get that sword and get out of here. And sword up, they get the executioner blazing. Oh man, gonna be great to wield this bad boy. Yeah, whatever. Let's just get going, you two. Oh, crab it a day, I tell you. Shut up, or I will. I'll put you in a never-ending genjutsu of Kabuto and Mochimaru continually making out. Which no, they don't do that in this version. Because Sugetsu's like, okay. Because Taiyo would do it. And Naruto has laughed. They make it to the base. Karin obviously does have the monitors. And it's like, oh, looks like they're here. It's like, oh. And she just kind of looks at her. It's like, so someone's finally come back. Meanwhile, as they're about to go on the brace, we cut down to the Hidan Kakuzu circumstance. Now, the first part of that goes exactly the same. Because there's nothing that really, I mean, however strong Choji Shikamaru or Ino is compared to their canon counterpart, I think is irrelevant because unlike with someone like Sakura or Hinata, how much stronger or weaker they are compared to their canon counterpart, would be very drastically different because of their relationship or the nature of the relationship towards Naruto and Sasuke. Someone like the Shina Ikacho trio, no. So that goes the same. Azuma is killed. They're mourning. And you do get the mission to take down Kakuzu, Hidan, and Hidan. Now, I do think Kakashi does go. I do think that. He does have the advantage, though, of his hand not being effed up from that little clash from Naruto. Not that it would matter that much, but he does have that little boost. I think, though, they would add maybe a fifth member just to be safe. I think he probably would ask, I don't know, Tenzo maybe, or Yamato in this case, because they've been searching for. Because a lot of the Anbu are probably always on the constant lookout for Naruto, rumors of Naruto. Dry still hasn't been able to find him because he just moves around with Orochimaru. So I do think maybe you get Tenzo there. He's called Tenzo, but Yamato. Just as like your Kakashi needing backup. So they go, and the thing with Hidan goes the same. Shikamaru is able to take him down pretty easy. Kakashi still struggles. In fact, it goes really about the way it did up until the false lightning scenario. But up until, not false, yeah, was it false lightning? Yeah, up until he's about to use his Mangekyo. But because he's got Yamato there, he uses the wood release, which, because wood's a natural insulator, is able to compensate for that. Except that, and now that I'm thinking about it, I got to remember that wasn't the false lightning. That was the combination of the wind and the fire jutsu together. But Yamato does use water jutsu to kind of douse it. Kakashi does have to use his Mangekyo in this version, unlike in the last one. It's like, well, I didn't have to use my Mangekyo this time, so I'm okay. So he does use it, and I think using is what is able to take down Kakuzu in this version, but that puts Kakashi on bed rest once again. So cut back to them going to visit Karin. Obviously, you get Jungo's like, no, man, I definitely prefer men, no, but the girl's nice too. No, yeah, next person, if it's a guy, I'm definitely going to kill him. And, they're walking in, and, they're hearing a lot of individuals kind of running amok, and it's a little chaotic, admittedly. We know there was more than a couple other curse mark individuals there, but Karin's able to handle herself. And it's like, well, look what the cat dragged in. It's like, hey, Karin-chan. It's like, Karin him, he missed me. It's like, and Karin's just looking at him, just like, you got a lot of nerve coming back here, Naruto, after what you pulled. It's like, whoa, so he gets, he's like, looking at Taiyu, he's like, what happened between them? Well, it's more along the line. And Taiyu's actually like, you know how a guy might, show a girl a good time and then never call him again? Something along those lines. Like, look, I mean, Lord Orochimaru needed me. What can I say? It's like you got a lot of nerve. It's like you got a lot of nerve trying to make excuses. Yeah, after what happened between us, you think you can just do what you did and just leave a girl hanging like that? It's like, I'm here now, Karin-chan. It'd be fine. I would not be lying if I said I didn't miss you. And he kind of like his pilot is like, she just grabs him by the collar and just like, damn it, why are you so hot? And she just like lip locks him. And she's like, Now, is Naruto like the ladies' man? I actually could see him being a little bit like that. Like, don't get me wrong, he doesn't have like a huge swath of experience with him, but he's certainly interacted with him. And as a guy, in like his mid-teens and probably hormonally charged, especially, with a little bit of like amping from Orochimaru's curse mark and stuff like that, and Karin having the freaking sex drive she had, oh, I have no doubt they were doing some things. They would be doing some things. Like, and Sugetsu's like, whoa. It's like, Naruto's a player. It's like, and she just is like, it's like, you are not leaving again until we have to catch up. It's like, it's like, there'll be plenty of time for that later, love. But right now, I'm told Jugo's being a bit of a problem. It's like, Jugo's been, acting up a little bit. Yeah, ever since Kimimaro died, it's just been, I need to kill. He wasn't the only one who could really control him. It's like, oh, let me take a look. Let me talk to him. He just knocks on the door. It's like, who's there? It's like, hey, Jungo, it's me. It's Naruto. Now, he's probably met Jungo once, or it's Jungo or Jugo. I think it's Jungo. I keep saying Jung, but there's no N in there. Though I like Jungo better than Jugo. But anyway, Jungo, we're going to say Jungo. Now, he's probably met a few times. Naruto was never ever able to truly rein him in, at least back in the early days. But now Naruto's there, and Naruto immediately uses some of the Fox's chakra, and it's like, yeah, Naruto, better get away, boy, because I'm gonna kill you. And he just comes in and just, poof. It's all right, Jungo. Hey, look, chill, dude, it's all right. And using a combination of the Fox's chakra, some nature, like he's using a weird combination of like all of them. He's kind of siphoning off Jungo's chakra to some degree. And just real quick, I wanted to find out red and turquoise. I think it was turquoise mixed together. I just want to know something real quick. So anyway, turquoise, green, blue, pink. So it's made mostly blues. The yellow, green. So okay, I'm just wondering what color those two make together. Anyway, and Jungo's finally like comments like, Naruto, you reined me in. It's like, yeah, it took a little while, but I think I figured out kind of what to do in case you start acting up, man. What's been going on? It's like, Naruto, it's good to see you. It's good. It really is. And he's calming Jungo down. Everything's going okay. And Karin's just looking over, and she looks at Taya. It's like, how have you been? It's like, fine, you. Fine, why do you care? It's like, no reason. How are you and Naruto been? It's like, we're fine, we're friends. No, that's it. But are you sure you don't want good? I mean, because Naruto's my man. No, I mean, not that if you had a thing for him to be any competition. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think you can really compete with my raw abilities. And she's just teasing, saying, are you kidding me? I'm 10 times the woman you are. I could easily take him from you if I wanted to. Then Sugetsu's like, cat fight, and they both say, shut up, bro. So it's one of those. Well, I can see a lot of comedy there. But as they're talking, it's like, all right, Jungo, I mean, why don't we go for a walk? Get some air. I mean, it's like, and Karin's like, well, are you sure that's safe? It's like, no, it's fine. Look, I'm here. He'll be good, right? Right, Jungo, you're okay? It's like, yes, thank you, I'd like that. And they're going out and they're talking and they're walking in the desert. There's not much. I mean, it was more like there is kind of a desert, or like just like a desert like canyon. And they're talking and they're walking, and there's like some clearing, some trees and stuff like that. And you see like some birds. You might see like a sparrow or crow there or something like that. And they're walking, and it's just been hard. Yeah, I understand. And all of them are there, by the way. Karin's there, um, even though she shouldn't be left. It's like, I can't really leave the base very much. And it's like, otherwise I'd spend all day with you and Naruto-kun. And say, trust me, I'd love that. But yeah, so they're walking about, and Naruto is like, looking around, just taking in surveys. Life isn't that bad, I mean, it sucks, I know. One day I'm gonna learn to figure out a way to keep your abilities suppressed, so you can just be among us. Because it's not fair that you have to be locked out there. Trust me, I remember the way being treated the way I was in the village. I don't wish that on anyone. It's like, don't you always say though, don't you always say you're grateful to Lord Orochimaru? Or Orochimaru? I mean, how can you be so hypocritical like that? Naruto looking, and he's about to answer, and then he gets the vibe that something's off. He's just looking around, and he's just seeing a bird. All he's seeing is some trees, and like some dead trees, but some with like a little bit of leafage on them. Like some dead trees. He's seeing a crow. He sees another one. And he sees another one. And he sees another one. And he's suddenly got like this slight chill on his spine. And he goes immediately into Sage Transformation, because that's obviously got the sensory ability. It's like, Karin, well, of course he's got Karin there. It's like, Karin, I need you to extend your sensory ability real quick. I need you to tell me if there's someone here. And it's like, right. And then, she says, like, there's something off, but I can't sense someone per se, but there is something off on here. And then Naruto just like goes into Sage Transformation, and he immediately picks up on what's going on. Just, Karin! And all of a sudden, the crows start to actually multiply more and more and more and more, and they form right in front of him into a silhouette, well, sort of a humanoid form. And there's like, what do you want, Itachi? It's like, every one of them here is like, Itachi? And sure enough, there's Itachi Uchiha, and he's just looking there, and he's got his hand in his cloak. Like, it's been a while, Naruto. If you're here to try to take me back to the Katsuki to take the fox from me, you better know you're getting the fight of your damn life. It's like, I'm here on other Matt. Despite what you may think, Naruto, I've actually never had any interest in the fox. What are you talking about? There's things we need to talk about. Naruto. And so that is where we're leaving part 4. With Itachi and Naruto. Still in his Sage Transformation, by the way. Which, by the way, now having fully seen what the dragon kind of Sage Transformation looks like, I actually have to say, I like the way that looks a lot better than normal. I mean, normal Sage mode is still cool. I'm actually getting it. I'm not going to show it, but Sage Transformation. But, like, normal Sage mode, like you see from, Jiraiya or a Naruto. That's really cool. But the Sage Transformation is a much different ability. It's actually apparently from Jungo's members clan, and it's really only something that only Mitsuki, Kabuto, and Jungo were able to do. He transformed into a Sage mode initially. Can only access the bender ability subconsciously. Later in the anime, it was shown that you could do it freely. But still, I'm actually looking at what it looks like, especially when you look at it on Mitsuki. I actually like the way it is. I like the idea of the dragon aspect, the horn, slightly scaled, the green energy just flowing around you. I think that's actually really cool looking. I actually kind of really dig the look of it. But anyway, that is where we're leaving it off, where Naruto and Itachi are about to have some words. And we're going to just see how the words from each are going to affect the other. So, until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I'll see you folks on the flip side. Later.